The smoke inside the Jedi temple smelled of ozone, burning tapestries, and cheap blaster fire. Anakin Skywalker stepped over the fallen body of a master, his boots heavy against the polished marble floor. His hood was pulled down low over his eyes, shadowed with the toxic yellow light of the dark side. He had already accepted his new title. He was Darth Vader now, the Dark Lord who would conquer death to save Padme. He reached the doors of the High Council chamber. Inside, a dozen terrified children cowered behind the heavy seats. Their eyes were wide, fixed on the man they once believed was the greatest hero in the Republic. A young boy named Soars Bandam stepped forward, his voice trembling as he looked up at the fallen Jedi. "Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?" Vader reached for the hilt at his belt. The blue plasma ignited with an aggressive snap, illuminating the children's pale faces. The dark side screamed in his head, demanding blood to seal his pledge to Darth Sidious. But as the blade reflected in the young boy's tearing eyes, something shifted deep within his shattered mind. He didn't see enemy combatants. He saw himself as a boy on Tatooine, helpless and waiting for a savior. Before the blue blade could descend, heavy footsteps thundered in the corridor. A squad of 501st Clone Shock Troopers barged into the room, blasters raised and ready to execute Order 66. The commander aimed directly at the children. "Good soldiers follow orders, Lord Vader. Stand aside." Anakin's expression hardened. "No," he growled. In a blinding flash of blue, Anakin spun around and severed the commander's hands before the clones could pull their triggers. He charged the squad like a whirlwind of raw, violent grace, deflecting blaster bolts back into their armor and tossing soldiers through the high glass windows with massive telekinetic force. Within seconds, the room fell dead silent, save for the hum of his lightsaber and the heavy breathing of the Chosen One. The blood of his own loyal legion coated the temple floor. He turned back to the trembling younglings, his yellow eyes fading back to blue. "Stay close to me," Anakin whispered, knowing that every clone in the galaxy was now hunting him. Coruscant's upper skyways burned with the fiery wreckage of gunships. But deep beneath the shiny Durasteel towers, the Undercity was completely pitch black. Anakin led the 12 surviving younglings down a rusted ventilation shaft, plunging deep into level 1313. The stench of toxic exhaust and rotting garbage was overwhelming, but down here, far below the reach of orbital scanners, they had a fighting chance to stay invisible. The children stumbled through the damp, neon-lit alleys, terrified by the heavily armed mercenaries, syndicate enforcers, and alien predators lurking in every shadow. Anakin wrapped his dark cloak tightly around himself, hiding his iconic lightsaber beneath his robes. Every fiber of his body screamed to give into his rage, to lash out at the galaxy that had betrayed him. But every time his anger flared, the younglings shrank back in fear. He had to choke down his dark impulses just to keep them calm. He secured a small, abandoned warehouse tucked behind an illegal spice den. It was cold, filthy, and miserable, but it had a heavy blast door. Anakin spent his meager credits buying basic rations, clean water, and medical kits from local crime bosses who asked no questions. To the criminal underworld, he was just another desperate smuggler trying to survive the night with a group of war orphans. At night, while the children slept packed together on discarded thermal blankets, Anakin sat by the door with his eyes wide open. He mediated not as a Sith, nor fully as a Jedi, but as an exhausted bodyguard. He could feel the Force echoing with the simultaneous deaths of thousands of Jedi across the galaxy, the weight of his failure pressed down on his chest like a mountain. Then, his comlink chimed in the dark. It was a encrypted priority code from an Imperial frequency. Palpatine had discovered the slaughter of the 501st Squad inside the temple. The Emperor knew his new apprentice had turned against him, and the entire garrison on Coruscant was sealing off the lower levels. High above in the newly christened Imperial Palace, Emperor Palpatine stared at the holomap of Coruscant, his pale face twisted into an unnatural scowl. Anakin Skywalker was supposed to be his masterpiece. Instead, The boy had let foolish sentimentality ruin the grand plan. But the Sith Lord was not without options. If his chosen pupil would not serve as his dark enforcer, he would be hunted like an animal and replaced. Palpatine didn't just deploy elite Imperial purge squads. Deep within the shadow network of the galaxy, a darker threat was set loose. Darth Maul, operating from the criminal shadows, sensed the sudden tear in the Force. Palpatine leaked Anakin's secret betrayal to the underworld networks, offering an absolute royal pardon and unlimited planetary power to anyone who brought back the head of the fallen Chosen One. Down in level 1313, the air grew noticeably colder. Anakin felt the dark ripple in the Force before he heard the mechanical footsteps echo through the Durasteel corridors. The Empire was burning down the Undercity, block by block, interrogating gang bosses and blasting through civilian hideouts to find the missing Jedi children. Anakin moved the Younglings through ancient, forgotten sewage pipes, moving deeper into the guts of the planet. But as they crossed a narrow catwalk over a miles-deep abyss, a crimson lightsaber ignited in the darkness ahead. Out stepped Maul, his horns catching the dim red glow of his weapon, his yellow eyes locking onto Anakin with absolute hatred. "Skywalker," Maul hissed, his voice dripping with venomous joy. "The legendary hero of the Republic, playing nursemaid to a pack of doomed cubs. Sidious offers a grand prize for your body." Anakin stepped in front of the frightened children, drawing his weapon. "Stay back, Maul. I'm not the Jedi I used to be." The two dark warriors clashed in a fury of red and blue, their blades blinding in the dark. Anakin fought with terrifying desperation. But he wasn't just fighting for himself anymore, he was fighting for the future of the Order. The molten rivers of Mustafar cast a blood-red light across the black obsidian landing pad. Obi-Wan Kenobi stepped down the ramp of Padmé's Naboo Star skiff, his hand resting tightly on his lightsaber hilt. He had watched the security holograms at the Jedi Temple. He knew Anakin had fallen to the dark side. He expected to find a monster consumed by hatred and power. Instead, he found Anakin standing alone near the edge of a lava waterfall, his clothes stained with grease and dried blood, his face pale and hollowed by total exhaustion. Beside him sat a stolen cargo transport, its engines idling quietly. Obi-Wan drew his weapon, his voice trembling with heartbreak. "It's over, Anakin. I know what you were willing to become. I know you swore yourself to Palpatine." Anakin didn't draw his lightsaber. He didn't take an aggressive stance. He slowly unclipped his weapon, held it horizontally in his open palms, and knelt down on the scalding rock. Tears cut clean tracks through the soot on his cheeks. "I was weak, Obi-Wan. I let him inside my head. I thought the dark side was the only way to save Padmé, but I couldn't kill the children. I couldn't do it." The cargo ship's hatch slowly lowered. 12 small heads peeked out from the shadows, their eyes wide as they recognized Obi-Wan. The Jedi Master froze, the cold anger in his heart vanishing instantly, replaced by a wave of pure shock and profound grief. "Take them," Anakin choked out, bowing his head to the ground before his brother. "Take them far away from here. Palpatine has hunted us across the galaxy. He knows I betrayed him. He won't stop until every one of us is ash." Obi-Wan stepped forward, lowering his blade, looking at his broken apprentice. "Come with us, Anakin. We can fix this together." Anakin looked up, his eyes briefly burning with a tragic, fiery yellow resolve. "No, as long as I am with you, Palpatine will track us through my dark presence. I have to draw his lightning away from the future." Deep in the cavernous, icy canyons of an uncharted Outer Rim world, Anakin sat in absolute silence. The bitter, freezing wind howled outside, but inside his chest, an inferno raged. He was a man suspended between two worlds. He was no longer a Jedi, bound by the strict codes of a fallen order, yet he had rejected the absolute evil of the Sith. He was a protector without a home, a warrior without a master. On the cold stone floor before him lay the disassembled pieces of his iconic blue lightsaber. The weapon felt wrong in his hands now. It belonged to the arrogant hero of the Clone Wars, the naive boy who believed the galaxy was black and white. Anakin closed his eyes and reached out through the Force. He took the kyber crystal into his gloved hand. He didn't bleed the crystal to turn it crimson as Palpatine had instructed, nor did he meditate on pure peace as a Jedi would. Instead, he poured his entire reality into the stone, his anger, his shame, his overwhelming love for Padme, and his absolute promise to protect those innocent children. The crystal throbbed violently in his palm, cracking down the middle, releasing a blinding wave of raw thermal energy. The Force around him screamed as the crystal absorbed his unique duality, the fury of the dark side, tempered by the iron will of a savior. When Anakin reassembled the hilt and pressed the ignition switch, the blade didn't snap with a pure blue sound or a harsh crimson hiss. It erupted with a deep, roaring flame. The plasma was a brilliant, unstable orange, crackling with arcs of white lightning along its edges. He raised the burning orange blade against the darkness of the cave. He was no longer Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi, nor Darth Vader, the Sith. He was the shield of the innocent. And as he looked up into the stormy sky, he felt the Imperial fleet drop out of hyperspace above his world. Palpatine had found him. The grassy plains of Dantooine were illuminated by the green laser fire of an Imperial Star Destroyer hovering in the atmosphere. High above, on a hidden landing ridge, a small transport ship prepared to jump into hyperspace, carrying Obi-Wan and the 12 younglings toward the unknown regions. But on the ground below, an army stood in their way. Anakin stood at the base of the ridge, his cloak torn and his body covered in severe plasma burns from previous encounters. In front of him stood Emperor Palpatine, flanked by crimson-clad royal guards and dozens of purge troopers. The Emperor leaned on his cane, a twisted, hideous smile stretching across his pale face. "You were meant to rule the galaxy by my side, Anakin," Palpatine rasped, his voice echoing over the thunderous roar of the storm. "Instead, you choose to die in the dirt for pathetic younglings who will be hunted down and destroyed anyway." Anakin ignited his blazing orange lightsaber, his stance firm despite his crippling injuries. "They will live, Palpatine, because you're not leaving this planet today." With a deafening roar, Anakin surged forward. He was a storm of absolute destruction, his orange blade carved through the royal guards with terrifying precision. When purge troopers opened fire, he used his raw force power to crush their armor inward, collapsing their lungs before they could fall. He fought with the strength of 10 men, driven by a profound need to redeem his soul. Palpatine unleashed a torrent of force lightning, the blue bolt slamming directly into Anakin's chest. Anakin screamed in agony, his skin blistering, but he refused to drop to his knees. Pushing through the deadly voltage, he took one agonizing step forward, then another, raising his crackling blade above his head. Above them, the Younglings transport ship broke through the clouds and jumped into hyperspace, its star lines disappearing into the night. Anakin saw the flash in the sky. He smiled through the pain, releasing his grip on the Force as Palpatine's lightning finally overwhelmed him. In the misty, dense forests of an uncharted world deep within the deep core, a wooden temple stood hidden beneath the giant canopy of ancient trees. The world was unmapped, completely safe from Imperial censors. Here, away from the strict dogma of the old Jedi High Council, Master Obi-Wan Kenobi fulfilled his final duty to his fallen brother. The 12 younglings were no longer helpless children. They had grown into strong, resilient Padawans, each carrying a wooden medallion carved with the symbol of an orange sun, the mark of the warrior who gave his life so they could breathe. Obi-Wan sat around a central campfire with the older students, watching them practice their form. But their training was radically different from the ancient ways of Coruscant. Obi-Wan did not teach them to suppress their emotions or attachments. He had seen where cold detachment had led the Jedi Order, and he had seen how Anakin's love had saved these very children from destruction. Master Skywalker did not save you because he was a perfect Jedi, Obi-Wan told the quiet teenagers, his voice thick with age and wisdom. He saved you because he loved you. Love is not a path to the dark side. Fear is, anger is, but love is the strongest armor in the universe. The Younglings constructed new lightsabers, drawing kyber crystals from the caves beneath the temple. Remarkably, many of their blades burned with deep yellow, bronzed, and orange hues, reflecting their unique philosophical balance. They called themselves the Enclave of the Sunday. They learned stealth, survival, and combat tactics designed not to wage galactic wars, but to fight in the shadows as protectors of the oppressed. As Obi-Wan looked up at the stars, he knew the Galactic Empire's dark shadow was spreading across the cosmos. But deep in the unknown, a spark of pure hope was being carefully nurtured. 20 years had passed since the fall of the Republic. The Galactic Empire ruled the galaxy with an iron fist, enforcing terror through planetary garrisons and the shadow of the mighty Death Star. But high above the Imperial stronghold on Lothal, an Imperial garrison felt a sudden, terrifying shift in the Force. The blast doors of the Imperial Command Center were violently blown inward, tossed aside like paper by a massive telekinetic strike. Out of the smoke stepped three figures wearing dark, hooded traveling cloaks. They did not wear the ceremonial robes of the old Jedi Order, nor did they speak of peace and negotiation. As the Imperial stormtroopers opened fire, the three figures ignited their weapons. Brilliant, crackling orange blades hissed to life, illuminating the dark hallway with a fiery glow. Sors Bandam, now a battle-hardened Jedi Master, led the assault with terrifying speed, deflecting blaster fire with effortless grace, while his companions dismantled the heavy turrets using advanced Force techniques. They fought with a breathtaking combination of Jedi precision and fierce emotional passion. They didn't fight to preserve a corrupt political system. They fought directly for the enslaved citizens suffering beneath the Empire's heel. Across the galaxy, similar secret strike teams from the Renegade Enclave were sabotaging Imperial shipyards, freeing political prisoners, and executing corrupt Moff commanders. The Empire called them terrorists. The suffering citizens called them the Sun Knights. But in the dark heart of Coruscant, deep within the Imperial Palace, Emperor Palpatine felt a cold, familiar dread creeping back into his chest. He recognized that distinct, fiery signature in the Force. Anakin Skywalker was long dead, but his final act of defiance had given birth to a brand new order of warriors. They were neither light nor dark, they were the Unbound. And they were coming to tear the Sith from their thrones once and for all.